Hello, Ray Phoenix here. Welcome to Let's Play Ratchet and Clank Free Up Your Arsenal, Part 19. The Galactic Rangers want us to go another fruity mission on Iridia. Where these fruity robots want us to kill off some more fruity villains that are taking over the planet Iridia. Well, it's just the same Tyrannoids you've always fought against since the very beginning of this game. The Galactic Rangers want us to go to another useless, pathetic rock to blast down more useless, pathetic Tyrannoids. It's like a whole intergalactic crisis that these Tyrannoids are on a planet Iridia. And what kind of purpose does this planet even serve anyways? It doesn't seem to have much signs of life. It's mostly just a barren desert rock. So what use is it so bad as if Tyrannoids are there? Maybe they need a new planet after we destroyed theirs much earlier in the game. Their own planet of Tyrannosis. And I keep forgetting the plasma whip is a thing, so I like to take out my plasma whip and whip it around, whip it real good, and just crouch down here and throw it at them, killing them off. I wonder how many enemies you have to kill for it to actually register as an upgrade. Oh, look, there we go. There, we finally got our plasma whip upgraded. Yeah, our plasma whip is now at V2. Yeah, we're so late in the game and it's already at V2. Plasma whip, V2. You sunk my battleship. V2. Oh, I only have 5 health left. This got shot a few times. And then I think I have I have the strongest armor in this game now. And it's, I guess, got shot like twice and my health is already almost dead. Yeah, armor starts to become more and more useless later in this game. I get now how people could do those challenges where you have to play for the whole game without collecting any armor. Or maybe armor is useless because I'm using the Pipo monkey skin, but I doubt that's really the case. This Pipo monkey is just going to war right now in this barren, dirty desert land. We're going to be fighting. I guess I really want to make this look like a true battle zone, because all the best battle zones are always in like dirty, rugged environments. And we're going to another dirty, rugged planet. There's more of the Tyrannoids we've always known. In the past, like Insomniac just wanted to give us another excuse to go and kill some Tyrannoids. They must have really had something against Tyrannoids. They must have really wanted to, make some sort of game. Or if it's supposed to be a metaphor for something like that. The Tyrannoids? I doubt that. They're just freaky aliens that are intended to be killed, which is always pretty much all I've been doing in games since Space Invaders is killing off these aliens. I think in this first level you have to go and disable some kind of shield thing that they have, or some sort of... I think it's what we're supposed to be doing. No, we're not supposed to be disabling a shield. Why would we be disabling a shield? No, we're supposed to be going to our... Oh yeah, it's that fighter thing we fly again, that hover battle craft thing that we fly around. I'm not sure what it's called in this version, but there we go. We made it there. We got a 10,000 Baruto reward. Yeah, because 10,000 bulls is really valuable at this point in time, especially if inflation. Yeah, and all you can really buy if that's is a pack of gum at the Intergalactic Convenience Store. They even have those in Ratchet and Clank. Or they used to have them until the Tyrannoids came over and then just stole everything. I'm sure these Tyrannoids probably don't care about our values, which is why we're supposed to be destroying them on this useless rock again with this blue water. Or is it purple? That color tone reminds me of a DVD that I got a long time ago, or with some weird version of Hansel and Gretel. And the information side of the disc had like a weird purpley texture like that. The more I think of it now, maybe it was a bootleg disc or some like cheap DVD disc. I've seen some like blank DVDs you could buy in the store that are like that just have like a light purple texture on it like that, where it's just where it's just light purple and then it changes color, or it changes texture if you from burning stuff or from burning contents on it. I don't really know much about that anymore. I don't really burn stuff onto discs much anymore, mostly because a lot of people don't have disk drives anymore, so it's kind of a useless thing these days. Like these Tyrannoids, they're very useless too. I'm just killing them off like they're nothing. Just blasting them down, blasting and destroying them. Oh, it's counting me get killed. I wonder if there's some sort of like counter somewhere in the game. If you could like enable stats for nerds, like on Linux, where you can like monitor your cursor mileage and see how much distance your cursor has traveled on Linux. Yeah, see how much Tyrannoids that I've killed. Like Tyrannoids I've obliterated, and then have it somehow linked to every memory card I've ever owned. That's gonna say how many Tyrannoids I've killed in every game I've ever played of this, ever since 2007 when I started playing this game, and I became a fan of Ratchet and Clank then. Like, this was the game that truly got me into Ratchet and Clank. It was a fun experience. I remember the first time I made it to this level, it was around Christmas of 2007, and everyone was talking about what they wanted for Christmas that year. Yeah, they wanted the new Nintendo Wii, they wanted that new Lego Star Wars, the Complete Saga game that came out on it, they wanted that new Wii lightsaber thing that was coming out too. and I was just busy being overly fixated on Ratchet and Clank Up Your Arsenal, which is a better game than a lot of the games kids were bragging about in the Christmas of 2007. And Christmas where I would get Jumping Flash, which I still have to this day. Of course, I have all my games, all my favorite games I still have to this day. And there we go, we just destroyed that level. Oh, look at this, it's another one of these things where we drive this ATV thing, this gun ATV, whatever you call it, ATV Off-Road Fury. It's a nod to ATV Off-Road Fury. That was another franchise I never really got into. I remember I had one of those games on the PSP once, but the most I ever played of a game made by that developer was Star Wars Racer Revenge. Yeah, they developed Star Wars Racer Revenge, which came out exclusively on the PS2 in 2002, just a few months before Star Wars Episode 2 came out. Oh, and I think my Flux rifle just got... There we go, it's been fully upgraded now. It's the most it could possibly get upgraded. And I got this weapon long after I got the Annihilator. I'm pretty sure I got it after I got the Annihilator. The Annihilator is not fully upgraded yet, so I guess some weapons, it takes less enemies to upgrade some weapons than it does for others. I guess that's what I just proved to you at this point. So I think what we're supposed to do in this level is just simply, well, obliterate the enemies. Yes, obliterate the enemies. That's our main goal. Just simply go in there. The Insomniac games really couldn't think of anything better to do or anything more elaborate. Just simply, just go in there and fry them, beat their brains down, destroy them. And that's why everyone hated Ratchet and Clank all for one. It was just a Ratchet and Clank beat 'em up where it's pretty much always just, just go and kid fight them. No one cares. Since when did anyone ever care about thinking when they play a video game? People play games like these so you guys have mindless fun killing stuff. And this game did have a multiplayer mode, which I never got to play, since I never really had any friends that wanted to play this game with me. I'm kidding. I just never had any real reason to play multiplayer mode. I didn't even know it existed until like several years later when a kid at school told me about it. And I realized, oh yeah, it does have multiplayer. And some people actually prefer the multiplayer in this to the multiplayer over Ratchet Deadlocked. And Ratchet Deadlocked is a downright battle game. Maybe that's what they were setting up here. Where they're setting up what Ratchet Deadlocked was gonna become. Yeah, it was like foreshadowing. All this planet is just mindless battles. And yeah, we do get a special reward at the end. But still, is it really just necessary for us to do all this mindless killing, mindless carnage? Now I'm sounding like Mega Man X at the end of every game where he always says, oh, why do I always have to kill and destroy everything? Wasn't there a more peaceful way than to just go in there and obliterate all of them? No, there wasn't. You know why? Because you're just a bunch of binary data stored in some sort of file, and your only purpose in your entire petty, cold, lifeless existence is just to rid other binary data of their existence by just going in there and shooting at them and killing them. And that's about it. That's all you pretty much get to do. That's about it. See you later. Only I won't be seeing these guys later. Well, I don't know. Do they recycle Tyrannoids at all? I wonder if they take their remains, or Dr. Nefarious takes their remains and or recycles them, maybe. I mean, if the Spyro's logic, that'd be the case, because no one ever seems to die in the Spyro games. Spyro's villains always seem to come back in a later game, even though they clearly died. Ratchet and Clank doesn't seem to have that logic, though. But then again, that wasn't really the developers doing, so I don't know, it's starting to get into... It's like it has to open up another can of worms about, oh, do people really die in Spyro? Do villains really die in Spyro? What about Ratchet and Clank? Well, Ratchet and Clank villains that died never seem to come back. Then again, not very many Ratchet and Clank villains have died, so... But all these ones are getting killed. Of course, we're just driving in there. Look, Scrunch the monkey didn't even want to be our wingman or be our turret operator, because he really just didn't like this planet. He just really wanted to, kill this planet off. Well, he didn't really want to do any of that, because he's just Scrunch the monkey. He's just some monkey who looks like Captain Quark that probably shares the same values as Captain Quark. He's like a mixture of Captain Quark and Monkey from Dexter's Laboratory. Yeah, imagine a monkey from Dexter's Laboratory had the same fighting spirit that Captain Quark had. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the world of Dexter's Laboratory probably wouldn't exist anymore if Monkey was like Captain Quark. Really just had that monkey that Dexter doesn't even know is a superhero, and he comes out and he fights that guy that came out of that came below the surface of Earth, and then he fought that guy that was voiced by Randy Savage that wanted to terrorize the world with his wrestling match, and then he had to fight that guy called Simeon, and then there was Hunter, that Australian bounty hunter thing, and then there was barbecuer, which got deleted and never got shown again on anywhere else. I know all this stuff because Dial M for Monkey doesn't have a lot of episodes. It's almost like they forgot it existed after the first few episodes of Dexter's Laboratory. What a shame. Those are some of my favorite things about that show. That and the Justice Friends. They're the reason, they're part of why I liked Dexter's Laboratory so much. And yet, yet the later seasons seem to completely forget they exist. Oh, what a shame. What a pity. I like to take notes of things like that so I know what not to do when I make my own stuff. And the Flux Rifle's still out of ammo. Yeah, I don't think I recharged it all since I last used it. It's still the same mission, the same long, prolonged mission there. There's that one guy there that thinks he could hit me from all the way over here. You also even need the Flux Rifle, the Sniper Rifle, almost any other weapons like the Annihilator could also work as like what the Flux Rifle is, where you could just snipe out enemies with them. And the Flux Rifle can never appear in those Gadgetron ammo pickups. The only way you could get new ammo or more ammo for your Flux Rifle is to go to the vending machines, or get it refilled completely when you go to Annihilation Nation and begin one of the challenges there, or begin a new challenge, I think, or a new mission, or whatever they call them in this mode. So I guess it is possible to fully recharge it. I'm just using the first weapon we got in the game. It's still this relevant much later in the game. Guess that just goes to show how great of a weapon it was, and we just won 20,000 bolts for all of that. Yeah, I imagine my mom's just talking to my grandma on the phone, and then I hand her something, and she's like, oh, he just handed me $5 because I wanted to make up for that time I left the microwave open and all the ants got into my mom's bread. Oh, and look at that. We just bought something new. It's the Quacko Ray, I think is what it's called. I thought it was called the Quarko Ray or something to do with Captain Quark. Looks like the kind of weapon Captain Quark make, but no. Look at how revolutionary this weapon is. It makes all of our weapons literally turn, this weapon makes all of our enemies turn into ducks. Cute little ducks go quack, 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 quack. This makes them turn into ducks. And the best thing about this weapon, sure, it's kind of slow at first. It's not very powerful, but again, no weapon is really that great when you first buy it, before it gets any upgrades. It's that it doesn't use any kind of ammo. You just zap your enemy for a few seconds with it, and they turn into a duck. And they're completely harmless after they get turned into a duck. They don't really do anything at all. They're just ducks. And we have a weapon with unlimited ammo now. Yeah, I remember the next segment of this game. We're going to be going against those evil Captain Quark robot things that are going to be so powerful it's going to pretty much consume all of our weapons ammo just trying to kill them. But with this Quacko Ray, we don't need to use up as much ammo anymore. We can just use this one weapon and we can just pretty much kill a lot of stuff without using much of our ammo. So we don't have to exhaust our ammo supply now. There are no bullets in the solar system to blast all those terrorists, so use your Quacko Ray instead. And don't waste the hostage droids, because we're never going to be seeing them again in this game, so it doesn't really make any sense. Yeah, it's another reference to Disruptor right there. I think this mission is a little bit... They actually did... Insomniac Games didn't give us a mindless task this time around. There actually is something you actually do have to use a little more of your brain power for, and that's trying to find those bolts, those screw things again, and screwing them around and locking them into place. Probably something you do with setting up a defense grid or something like that. Like we've never seen that before or anything else. Yeah, let's destroy that and go to the defense grid or these defense turret things, whatever they're called, and just turn this around, spinning them around like a record baby, and then going back to our ATV. I don't even think it's possible to repair the ATV at all once it gets damaged. When it's damaged, it's damaged. And they have to run everywhere on foot. And this level is pretty big. This is the entirety of the level right here. Where we're at is pretty much its entirety. And it's really big. It's a lot to run around. Yeah, I bet to a kid they're probably like, whoa, look how freaking large this place is. Look how big this place is. And now it's like compared to what a lot of modern games have, it's like, yeah, this place isn't really that big. But I guess bigger isn't always better. And smaller battleground like this is actually kind of prefer smaller battlegrounds a lot of the time. Like Twisted Metal Black, for example, they thought they were doing something really impressive by like having the battlegrounds being really big. But sometimes when they're so big, it's hard to find your enemies or find where you're supposed to kill at or destroy something like that. They actually did have an issue like that in a very early beta version, I think, of the original Twisted Metal. There we go. Look at that. Look at that. My health is running horribly low again. I'm just gonna use the. I think I still have some Annihilator bullets left. Look at that. My health is like at 5. And look at that too. Yeah, because this game doesn't really care about who does the killing. Just as long as enemies get killed, it adds to your experience points. And I do that killing right there, but still added to my experience points anyways. There we go. V4. It's telling us about the new features that this new version of the Annihilator has. V4 Annihilator. V4, yeah, sounds like a TV channel almost. V4 Tech TV. No, it's G4. Close enough. No one's gonna really tell the difference. This game probably was on G4 at some point in time. Remember they used to have TV shows, they would play video games. Or my father saw an episode of that show back in like 2008 on G4, I don't know what it was called, where they mentioned, oh, would you rather just run down the freeway or play Jumping Flash? That's one of the only times I ever heard Jumping Flash ever mentioned on TV or anywhere like that. I'm not even sure if that was real or not. I've been trying to look for it for a long time and I never been able to find it anywhere. I know that supposedly aired on G4 Tech TV around 2007 or 2008 or so. So we're just getting lost again in this wide open area. We have to find the green Midori, which is green in Japanese. The green targets, which is where our objectives are, and the red dots is where our enemies are. We don't have to kill all the enemies this time around. At least I don't think we do, but it's still beneficial to kill all of them because, well, they're always going to try to attack you. You're not doing any favors by keeping them alive. So you might as well just go and kill them, saving them a more painful death they'll probably suffer after we nuke the planet. I'm pretty sure we're going to nuke this planet afterwards. I wonder, well, I don't know, maybe they don't have nukes. Well, we know they must have nukes. There was a mini nuke gun in Ratchet and Clank 2, so maybe there is some kind of like answer to those nukes. So it's going to tighten this bolt over here. Twisty, tightening the bolt, and then... There we go. I think we cleared the mission now. I think that's the... There we go. We got 25,000 bolts. Yeah, doing that little extra bit of turning around gave us an extra 5,000 bolts. This is Ray Phoenix signing out.